What's up, YouTube? It's Kenny again. Oh, headed to my delivery in Aurora, about 3 hours away. And I wanted to make a video today to talk about the M1 finance account that all of the YouTube money and everything goes into, all right? So, before we get started, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a truck driver driving across the country, researching and trading stocks, and I will not be held responsible for any moves you make in the stock market. Not ever. I am not your mama, all right? Do your own research. Make your own decisions and take responsibility for those decisions. I am not your mama. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, like the video, and leave me a comment below, and consider joining the Patreon, which is down in the description, to help support the channel and help me build a retirement. I'm not a rich guy, so pay it forward to somebody who actually needs it. These other rich YouTubers don't really need your money. Pay it forward to somebody like me who's trying to build something, all right? So we've made, 3 months worth of deposits into the M1 finance since it began. And we lost a little bit yesterday. We were up over 30% return in it already. As of right now, the total return on the M1 finance account is 28.73%, and the total amount in the account is $1,090.03. Okay. So I chose this M1 finance for the YouTube account because I knew it was going to be kind of smaller deposits, and M1 Finance allows you to build a pie so you can set what percentages you want certain stocks to be represented by in your portfolio, and then when you buy into it, it buys it and attempts to maintain those percentages. After using it now for a while, I have a little bit of a better understanding how it works. And so let's just talk a little bit about how it does work, all right? So say you set 10 stocks to 10% each, okay? Every time you put, say, if you make a really small one, say you put $100 deposit in there, the first deposit, it will buy $10 of each one of those stocks using fractional shares, okay? Now, if the next time you make a deposit, some of those stocks have gone up and some of them have gone down, you will see that it says that Tesla is now 13% of the 10% because it went up. And it will say Lordstown Motors is 8% of the 10% because it went down, okay? So when it buys this next time, what it will do is it will buy less or buy none of the ones that have gone up, and it will buy more of the ones that went down in an attempt to keep those at the percentages that you've set, okay? Now, what I have been doing is, if one has gone up and I want it to buy it anyway, then I will adjust those percentages before I make the buy to make sure that it buys some more of that particular stock, okay? And you can do this, like say you don't want to put any more money into one, you can set it all the way down to 1%. Don't set it to 0 or it will sell it, but you can set it down to 1% and then it won't buy any more of that stock on that next buy or whatever. So that's how I've been playing with it. So with that said, I want to talk about what's in there. We're not going to go into deep on any of these stocks or anything like that. I just want to let everyone know what exactly is in there, what percentage it's currently sitting at, and how much we are up or down in those particular positions. We're not down in anything in this account, but I want to talk about just what's in there and how well it's doing, all right? So I've got it pulled up here on my tablet so that I can see everything in here, okay? So we're just going to go from the top and work our way down. You guys heard me talk about Lordstown Motors a million times. I wanted it to buy more, so I bumped it up to 13%. It is currently up 24.5%. There's $132 in it, and it's currently sitting at 12.10% of 13%. So I'm still wanting it to buy more of Lordstown. Tesla, there's $131.34 in Tesla. It is up 22.34%, and it's currently sitting at 12% of 12%. I will make adjustments to these before we make the next buy to decide what I want to go into. But that's where we're at on Tesla right now. Hyliion is set at 12%. It's currently at 10.5% of 12%. And there's $114 in Hyliion, and it is currently up 22.23%. Enphase Energy is currently sitting at 9.7 of 9%. And where there's $106 in Enphase, and it is up 50.97% right now. ARK K is I'm sure you've all heard of it. It's an ETF, so it contains multiple stocks surrounding innovation. It's ARK's flagship fund, okay? We have $101.18 in ARK, and ARK K is sitting at 9.2% of 9%. The second number in those is what it's set at. It's set at 9%. Okay, and we're currently up on ARK K 27.8%. And then we have TAN, which is another ETF. It's the Invesco Solar Etf. It's an ETF that I like a lot. It's currently sitting at 9% of 9%. We have $98.59 in it, and it is currently up 22.68%. 22.68%. ARKG, which is the ARK Genomic ETF. Again, another ETF. So we're using these three ETFs to get some diversification in this portfolio because there's only 10 or 11 stocks in there. So the ARKG fund is sitting at 8.8% of 9%. There's $96.32 in it, and it is up 19.78%. ChargePoint, which is ticker symbol CHPT. I'm sure you've heard of that one. It's charging for EVs, charging stations. We're currently sitting at 7.8% of 7%. And there's $85.13 in there, and it's currently up 63.4%. So we've got some nice returns going on in this M1 finance account, right? The next one is Nvidia. Nvidia is sitting at 7% of 7%. We have $77 in it, and it's up 44.18%.
Half a mile. Keep right onto I-55 north towards Chicago.
Facebook is currently sitting at 5.6% of 6%. There's $61.38 in Facebook, and it is up 10.97%. And then we have Soxl, which is the triple leverage semiconductor fund. So it attempts to emulate 3 times whatever its holdings do, and they're all semiconductor stocks like Nvidia, AMD, etc., etc. So in Soxl, is currently sitting at 4.2% of 4%. There's $46.02 in it, and it is up 36.57%. My truck's freaking out. And then we have Corsair Gaming. Corsair Gaming is the one that's doing the worst of all of them. And it's at 3.5% of 3%. There's $38.63 in it, and it is up 4.37%. So that's the M1 Finance. That's what all's in there. So as you can see, guys, like, we're doing really well in some of these stocks in this pie, all right? And like I said, from buy to buy, like before I buy, I will go in and assess what stocks I want to buy more or less of and change up those percentages before I make the buy. And I also, what I do is I wait. I have a watch list that contains everything that is in the M1 Finance so that I can look at it all at one time. And when I make the buys, I wait for a day where a large number of those M1 Finance buys are red to do the buy, okay? Because you don't, in this M1 Finance, you don't just buy things individually, although you could kind of finagle it to make it do that. And also, you can't like pick exactly when it buys. Like, I'm a member of the M1 Pro or whatever it is. They gave me a year of it for free, and that allows me to have two different windows to buy, either at the 8:30 a.m. or I believe it's 2 p.m. might be 3 p.m. Eastern time. But if you're not a member of that Pro service, then it only buys at 8:30 a.m. So there are some drawbacks as far as like not being able to buy exactly on dips and catch spikes and stuff like that. It's more meant for long-term investing, like a set it and forget it kind of system. And it seems to be really good for this type of application because it uses fractional shares, and you just kind of dump a little bit of money in there and it puts it into everything that you've selected. So I do like it for that. And I've mentioned this in the past. I'm thinking about, I believe I've decided on the number of $10,000. Okay, as of right now in my Roth IRA, I've put like $8,050 or something like that in it. And when I get to 10,000 of contributions that I've made to that Roth IRA, I believe that I'm going to start myself a Roth IRA on M1 Finance and build a pie and start dumping money into that as a Roth IRA. And then I'm just going to hold that $10,000 in my Fidelity Roth and use that to do all of my trading with, because you know that's primarily what we talk about on this channel is my Roth IRA. I trade, I do all my daily ins and outs and stuff like that in that account to avoid paying taxes. And so I believe I'm going to get to the $10,000 mark, because the reason for this is that at $10,000 that I have personally contributed, that is a really round number and a really easy way for me to be able to see exactly how much money I have, exactly what percentage of money I have made in that Roth IRA by trading. Every time you make, like if I make $1,000 deposit, it throws all of my numbers off, all right? And so I want to get to a set number. That way I can always be able to easily tell what percentage I'm at in that Roth IRA. And then once I'm to that, which I feel like is a pretty big chunk of money, 10,000, then I can start just socking money away in another Roth IRA in this M1 Finance and just make it real easy for me to just dump money in there, play with the percentages a little bit, add or subtract things from the pie, etc. So that's, as of right now, what I think I'm going to do. And I'm going to work on getting to that 10,000 mark once the vacation has passed next month. And it shouldn't take me very long to hit that number. And then I'm going to be working on that M1 Finance Roth. So that's just a little update. I wanted to talk, like I said, about what's in the M1 Finance, let you guys know how those investments are doing, since it is your money that's going in there. Well, your money and my other channel. And so, yeah, we'll periodically, I'll mention how much, what return rate we're at and stuff here and there, just like I have been. And we'll do that going forward. So I appreciate your support. Hit that subscribe button, like the video, leave me a comment below, and join the fucking Patreon, guys. We haven't had anybody join in a while. Come on now, support the channel. Thanks for watching.